Alright, so today we're working on this snowblower. It's a Poulon Pro, and the carburetor's all gummed up. It hasn't been used in 5 or 6 years, so just been taking it apart here. So to start off, simply take off the choke lever, and then next step, you have to remove a bolt there, and there's 2 right there, and then this will just lift off. Next step is going to be to take out bolt there, and 2 bolts over there. And then you can pull this piece off. And you can see there's wires for the on-off switch. So I just took a Sharpie and colored the top one so that you could easily identify which one was the top one. Alright, so we've got those wires off. Now we're just taking off this little hose for the primer. This may leak gas, we don't really know. So take off a little clamp, and then grab your pliers. Try not to break the line. You might have to just pull it with your fingers, or try and pry it with a screwdriver. There we go. So it didn't leak gas. Some of them do, just depends what type of primer it is. But now there we got that off. We're right at the carburetor. Okay, so now we're taking this carburetor off, and there's just these little 2-way nuts that go on there. So they're extra long so they can go both ways. And we have a little part spin right here so that we don't lose anything. So now we gotta take out the whole carburetor. And there's just a few pieces that come off of it, and the fuel line. And you can already see there, it's all gummed up inside. Alright, so we done some more. Got the fuel line off, and then the only thing holding the carburetor on now is that piece right there. That'd normally be the throttle, but it's just a dead arm that goes back there because it's a snowblower, so it either is running with the choke on or at full power. Okay, so what we did was on this black part right here, it's the throttle. It's supposed to move, which we just discovered, but because the carburetor is so gummed up, it hardly does. So what we had to do is just pull it out and then twist it and then pull it some more, and then the bar popped right out. It's really tough if it's all gummed up, but if you're just taking off the carburetor, it won't be too hard. Alright, so we got the carburetor here on the bench. Just put down a rag to keep it nice and clean. And you can see it is just absolutely disgusting in there. And you can barely even turn the top. And if we spin the whole carburetor around, it's very similar on the other side. Now we're going to empty out the bowl. We'll just take our ratchet, stick it right on the bottom of the bowl, and then we'll undo it. Alright, so now we're going to take off the bowl. And there it comes. There's a little seal in there, so it's a little bit stuck. But look at that. So this is really going to need a carb clean. So let's get to it. So on the inside there, that's the main jet, and the little piece inside was jammed, but now you can see we cleared it because there's a hole. And then on the inside of that, there was also this piece, which is part of the main jet, but it's nasty. It's all green and gross. So look at all that green. So good thing we found that. Alright, so we got the whole thing torn down and cleaned. It was super gummed up in there, but luckily we got pretty much all of it out. Even if there is still a little bit, it's so gummed up, I doubt that it'll come out. There's all the pieces, and we got the choke off, and the throttle off, and all the bowl and everything. Now if you take this throttle piece that we were having issues with before, while it was on the machine, and you stick it in, fit snug. But look at that now, it moves completely free. Awesome. So you just saw we rebuilt it all. Now the only way to actually test one of these is to stick it back onto the machine. And you have to put everything back together because there's not really another way to test it. And if it goes great, awesome. But if it doesn't work, you just gotta take it back apart. So now we're gonna go and install it. So start by just lining up these holes. So push that bar in and then push the whole thing in. And there we go. All right, so we got it all back together. So now we're gonna test it out. We got our extension cord plugged in here. There's a bit of a starter setup here. You just press this red button and it'll turn over. So that's what we're gonna try and do. Alright, so to do a good test on the machine, we left it outside overnight, just so that we can make sure it starts in cold weather. It went down to about -10 Celsius overnight. So now we're just going to put the choke all the way there, put it into the run position, and give it a pull.